This is a certified hood classic.
What do you say we get thrown out of Applebee's?
All rise, order and see court, and happy Friday. It is Florida Friday, all the way through today.
From top to the bottom, it's thoroughly Florida.
Love it. Bradley was first today. Congratulations.
I saw that and I was wild. Wow, Bradley's here first. Must be Friday.
Plus,
there's a lot of people off work today, Creed. It's Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Tons of court was closed today. Which, makes it nice to be able to dig into the archives and find stuff to put up. And this is just from the other day. It's not today, but I think it was yesterday, perhaps. And we've really never gone to this. This one is in Gulf County.
I was going to say that courtroom certainly looks not familiar at all. At least they have their pews look like they're padded, not just.
Oh, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Damn. That's nice. That's real nice.
Definitely.
Oh boy.
The
judge seems like he's like 12 years old, by the way.
Yeah.
Very young. Very young.
I was gonna say anyone that has a camera of just an empty chair too is always good. It seems to be lucky and usually a good courtroom. So
All
right. Let's do it. We ready?
We're ready. Let's go.
So we're going to resolve his case today and allow him to transfer to Washington County to take care of his business up there.
Yes, sir.
As to this case, he is going to plead guilty or no contest, be adjudicated guilty, placed on probation for a period of 3 years. He has 76 days of jail credit. The Department of Highway Safety Motor Vehicles may apply penalties to his license, and he understands that this plea could violate his probation in Washington County.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Mr. Simmons.
Mr. Hill, Mr. Simmons, calling Dr. Creed, calling Dr. Creed frame. Yeah, kids, we're not going to play this game all day. I'll be playing the video if we get one more Creed frame. He's getting a free one, but no more free ones. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. If you haven't already taken a chance and liked this channel, do it now. It would help us a lot. We would appreciate it.
Only thing that I can do is go make a quick adjustment and keep doing that until we figure it out. And since Friday is the day of Creed frames, I'm going to go do that. So maybe let's real quick talk about fan of the year. And
we'll talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. So while Creed is taking time to make what he calls adjustments, let me go ahead and tell everybody what we have going on. If you would like a Christmas card from myself, Mikey the Legend, I'm sending out Christmas cards to you guys. SantaBebe1@gmail.com is the place to send your address if you would like a Christmas card. If you would like to send me one back, make sure you write on there, "Hey, Mikey, I would like to return the favor." Otherwise, you will not get any kind of reply from me other than me sending you a Christmas card. Now, Fan of the Year voting is going on. If you go over to Creedence and Mikey on YouTube, hit the community tab right down there. You'll see voting for Fan of the Year. Now, it's a write-in ballot right now, so all you got to do is write in your favorite fan that you think deserves to be Fan of the Year. We'll tally the votes, and whoever got the most, we'll do probably the top 6 or top 8, and we'll whittle it down to our grand champion, who will receive a beautiful plaque and no cash whatsoever.
Creed, no, I say no cash whatsoever.
No cash whatsoever.
Hear that, Jessica? No cash.
0.0 cash.
So would you tell me your name, your age, and your highest level of education?
Jack Simmons, 52, 7th grade education.
Did you hear the announcement by Mr. Hill about how we're going to resolve your case?
Yes, sir. I got a question.
7th grade.
What's your question?
I have a failure to appear. in Calhoun County. It's my second offense that I have not been charged guilty of yet. They're telling me that I have something in Franklin County, or that in Franklin County I spent 60 days in jail for that situation. That's been over 5 years ago, I'm sure.
Okay.
I just didn't understand how I could go. It'd be my third one when I'm not convicted of my second one yet.
I showed him the two convictions, Judge. There was a conviction from Franklin County, and then there was another conviction that I showed him the two
Colin?
convictions before he took the plea on
Yes, sir.
earlier this week.
No, but I still have a failure to appear
Okay.
that I'm going to have to answer for, whether it be here or Washington County.
Okay.
I'm trying to get this stuff fixed where I can go home. Put everything out on the table, people know where you stand at.
Yes, sir.
So, I can get my driver's license with no problem. I've been trying to get my driver's license. That's what I've been working on doing. My probation officer's been helping me assist that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have with not being able to obtain my driver's license is all my life I've used the family Bible as a birth certificate. Whenever I tried to use the family Bible as a birth certificate, they wouldn't take it.
Stop. Okay.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of it. It's a Southern thing, Creed.
Okay.
Your family keeps a Bible.
Yeah.
And they write down when people were born and whatnot in it, and when and where and all that good stuff. And I guess over the years, he's been using that as a.
You just show the bus driver the family Bible and you're allowed to ride.
I mean, it's in lieu of a birth certificate. He's saying it's got all of his information on it, that you would have on a birth certificate. Again, you got to remember this guy. There we go, Fox fan. Yeah, absolutely. He also said he only got out of the seventh. He went as high as the 7th grade. Did he fail a bunch of times and they just asked him to leave? I mean,
yeah.
Typically, you don't quit until like the 9th grade or so. I mean, but that's very early on. Just said, you know what, education isn't for you. Just go write it in the family Bible that you've graduated. Why not?
At 5:30 East. We'll hang out, have some fun.
Craziness will ensue.
I was born in Withdrawal 52 years ago. They didn't record me, evidently. I'm having problems getting a birth certificate from the state.
That's the other thing I wanted to say too, is that I somewhat understand his confusion. If he's got one other thing that's still, I guess, just out in the air, and he's like, well, how can I get charged on this one before we even get to that one?
I mean,
understand that.
And he's got stuff in multiple counties. He's not all these failure to appears and things is really added up. And by the way, if you're born at home, maybe back at 52 years ago, or everybody said 54 years, whatever, if he was born at home, maybe that too would keep him from getting a birth certificate per se.
Always vote for Pedro.
And I really don't know what to do. But I have to take care of my family on top of that.
Oh,
And I
no.
don't have no DUIs, no drug charges. Every one of my charges on driving with my driving record has been to or from work.
Yes, sir.
Just that I was driving with no driver's license. That's no problem. But
Come here.
Absolutely.
I'm not understanding all this.
All right. Do you need additional time to talk to Mr. Hill?
No, I need to get on out of here. I have a wife and 2 kids. And,
I got to go.
Okay.
And I'm doing what I need to do.
You believe this plea is in your best interest?
To get out of here, yeah.
Okay. Has anyone threatened or coerced you in any way to get you to?
Yes.
Do you understand that by entering this plea, sir, you are waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
And you're waiving your right to appeal anything other than a legal sentence?
Yes.
And Mr. Simmons, are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs?
No.
You're clear-minded?
Yes.
Understand if you're not a U.S. citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Hill's services?
Yes, yes and no.
All right.
That's a
Additional time to speak,
3-star.
Mr. Hill?
Oh,
What issues do you
Satisfied.
say you have?
Yes and no.
I'll deal with my issues.
I'm going to ask you right now. What issues do you believe you have with Mr. Hill's performance?
I feel I don't know what to do about the situation in Calhoun County. It's not been enough on the record or nothing. No mention of it. So I had court. See, I think the 4th of October, I think it was.
What do you mean you don't know what to do about the situation in Calhoun County?
Well,
And he's not happy with his attorney.
Nothing to me about having a failure to appear in Calhoun County.
Okay.
I can't take this guy out to eat nowhere.
Okay.
The Greyhound don't take the Bible, Your Honor.
Can't do anything.
Do whatever needs to be done.
Yes, sir. I'm not going to find a mention or a failure to mention anything about a failure to appear. It's problematic. So I'm going to accept your plea as known, intelligent, and voluntarily entered into, sir, in case 23 CF 126. You'll be adjudicated guilty of felony driving while license suspended. You've been on probation for 3 years. You have court costs and fines.
Yes.
Thank
$1,008.
you, Tabby.
Here you waive my reading of discretionary costs and fines, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you got 74 days jail credit. Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles may apply additional penalties. And you acknowledge that this plea may violate your probation in Washington County.
Yes, sir, yes.
All right. So you got 30 days from today to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. Best of luck to you, Mr. Simmons.
They don't take me to Washington County?
I believe you do have a pending KP.
Very quickly. So that was the biggest. That was his excuse, basically, right? For driving, was that he couldn't take the bus because they wouldn't take the Bible. Does the gas station down the street take the Bible for the gas? If you got money, that just.
I'm wondering, does he got a social security card?
It doesn't sound like he does.
I mean, he's completely off the grid. Is that what we're saying with this guy? I mean, we take his word about who he is. It's a weird situation. And he's unhappy about everything. Like I said, I would never take him out to eat because he would be like, they come by, how was everything? Not so good. Kind of. Maybe I could have been happier with that. Grits were cold. Yeah, you better get a birth certificate, bud.
Stanley Gray.
Stanley Hudson.
Your Honor, Mr. Gray's case 2223 CF. I
Kristen.
believe we have reached a resolution of this case. Yeah. And Judge, I can tell the judge this court, this is a departure sentence from the guidelines. You'll see the guidelines. They are rather significant in this case, but as you can tell, Mr. Gray has appeared for all of his court dates. He's been in contact with me and has been in no trouble since 2022 when this case arose. So he has earned his departure sentence in this case. The departure sentence that the state has offered is to the charges filed: possession of controlled substance count 1, possession of controlled substance count 2, possession of paraphernalia count 3. It will be a 5-year Department of Corrections sentence suspended upon his successful completion of 5 years.
Is he just dressed well for what we're normally? But I would not have taken him for that. I thought this was going to be a DV or a vampire. That was gonna be
I mean, he walked up here like he was a retired, gym coach, shirt tucked in and all whatnot. But I never would have pegged him as a possible drug user. And
I want to know what kind of drugs we're talking.
Steroids. Look at that body on that guy. Come on.
And he's dangerously close to a coach, right?
Very close.
Offender probation. The cost of supervision is $20 per month. The court cost and fees are assessed at the standard rate, and there are no other conditions of this probation.
Well, I got to take the deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, you certainly speak to the judge.
It's just a standard criminal.
Your Honor. One moment. You raise your right hand for me.
He's not happy about something. I'm thinking it could be he's heard that today is the official kickoff to the weekend. And of course, the official kickoff. Great friend. Now, if you're new here, this is a little game we play every once in a while where we take time and Creed freezes us and, well, I continue on with life. And, well, just remember, you got to like the video. Russian drugs. Oh, look, it's Bartles. Hey, Creed's back. Everything work out in the bathroom?
Yeah, man, I'm quick, aren't I? I only have one other connection that I could make as far as if that doesn't. If not, we're just going to have to deal with it.
If it happens again, I'll start running the video and we'll just look at Creed's face.
I mean, you can certainly speak to the judge. That's fine.
Your Honor, one moment. You raise your right hand for me.
See what this guy's got to say.
That's something to say.
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm a unique case here. Because of my prison sentence, the only addiction I ever had was alcohol, which I haven't drank in for, I don't know, it's been 12 years now, whatever it's been. Drug offender, here's my thing, and I'm speaking. I have to take it no matter what, because my study of the law in the last 2 years, under Florida law, and this is what I want you to verify for me. It has nothing to do, but constructive possession, sir, if I may, means if I'm driving a vehicle that my boss asked me to give one of her employees a ride down here, okay? I've never done drugs. I'll do hair sex, but I don't do drugs, okay? And the problem is it's drug offender probation. I'm not an offender. All those charges weren't mine, sir. We've proven that. Those are not me. Those, and then there was one in Fort.
I'm curious. Thanks for stopping right there. He's making the okay. So he went to prison. We understand that 2 years in prison. He's been in for, and now he's gotten out. And I guess he had some drug charges, but he says he's not a drug offender. Are we saying that like there was somebody in the car with him that had drugs? Is that what's going on? I don't know. It's very confusing. Guys in the truck, can y'all unfreeze Creed? I'd appreciate that. Thank you. God bless. Hey, look, it's Creed gone again. Really quick. Also, go to our Discord. We're doing Secret Santa over there. You too can join in on Secret Santa. All that and more over in the Discord. Check it out now. Exclamation point Discord in the chat.
I own a bodyguard company.
Wonder Twin Double D's, thank you. That's the best I can do. By the way, he was just saying that and what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted. The charges are still pending, so it couldn't have been like a mistake. They haven't been.
Well, he said he went to prison. He said he went to prison.
Right.
And I'm guessing for 2 years because he said the last 2 years. I'm like, in prison for 2 years?
Loud, if it wasn't a busy Friday, is probably what I would do.
2 years.
How annoying. But I was in here with tons of wires and into the computer today. But it was bad yesterday, too, while Emily is laying in bed sick. She says she has everything off. I feel kind of bad, but it's so weird that it's just when she's here. I don't know.
Something there, but it was a no cross. I've never had a drug charge. And my only point is I would almost double the probation. I don't have a problem with probation. I've been sent to prison twice. I've been in trouble in my life. I've never gotten probation. I've been right to prison. Don't pass go, don't collect. It was because I was drinking. Okay. I don't drink anymore. If anything, do they have alcohol probation? I mean, my point is I've seen other people on this kind of probation, and I don't know if my mind can handle the classes for something I don't understand, or I truly don't. So this is my only, I have to take the deal because under constructive possession, which I was driving the vehicle, and as the licensed driver, I'm responsible for everybody and everything in the vehicle. So I am, even if a jury found me not guilty, I'm guilty, I'm screwed. Excuse my French, sir. The reason why is because under the law, the jury has to find me guilty of constructive possession. Don't they? I'm asking you, don't they?
Jurors.
I mean, if I'm driving the vehicle and that's a Florida law, they have to by law. If it's a lesser included, put in,
The only thing the jury has to do is follow the law as set out in.
No, Tree. So he's talking about it. That's his only vice. That's all he does is drink. He's got a little bit of a drink problem, maybe. Allegedly.
I mean, filling in the spaces, it seems like he was in a vehicle
Right.
with others who had drugs and things like that in the car.
Right.
And because probably no one copped to having it,
Mm-hmm.
everyone was charged.
And it's his problem. He was driving. So
Mhm.
whether he had it on him or not, and that's kind of shitty. If that's the case, if that is true, if he is being completely truthful, then that's really shit. But
Instructions that I give them.
And but under those instructions, it would be to find me guilty. Is that correct?
The instructions do not instruct the jury to find you guilty.
and that one part that he's talking about with not understanding it. If he's not a drug addict and not a drug user, going to those classes ain't going to do you any good, which I understand. Again, assuming that what he's telling us is not BS.
I can't do those classes.
Read them instructions on the law, and they follow the law.
I apologize, but that's following the law. The law is, no matter what, I am guilty. Listen, if I give somebody a ride, I got to search them and pat them down. Because if they have something on them and I get pulled over with them in the vehicle, that's constructive possession, is it not? Because I'm
Constructive possession is having knowledge of the substance in the vehicle and having the ability to exercise dominion and control over the substance. That is the elements of constructive possession.
And Your Honor, in this case, Mr. Gray made incriminating statements to the deputy on the side of the road. So if he doesn't want to plead, then the state will withdraw it.
I understand that. I had to, because if not, they're not claiming it. All three go to jail. My employer, the vehicle belonged to, I understand it's $135 storage fee. She's now dead. She died. I manage the property now for her daughter out of Atlanta. But the point is that I understand. I'm not trying to say I take responsibility for everything I've ever done. If she's been in my DOC record, she'll see. I'm the only inmate that did 10 years, 4 months with all above satisfactories, except 2 unsats for fighting. And sometimes you just can't avoid a fight.
The only one ever. History.
That, and I have a job overseas doing QRF, triple canopy. I can't take that now. I mean, it's hitting me bad. It's hitting me hard. But that's all I wanted to confirm, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is that no matter what, I can't meet. It wasn't mine. And drug offender probation, the only thing I was asking is, I'm not a drug offender. I feel
Mr. Gray's also sentenced to prison previously for possession of cocaine.
that was a no pros. If you look at it, it says no pros.
Oh, so he's taking this plea deal, even though.
But because he feels so, I from what I'm understanding too, is that he feels if he goes, the jury's just going to convict him no matter what.
It's not going to get any better. Yeah.
Right. So he's kind of screwed. Listen, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If that all is the case, although that's, do you understand the part where he had to kind of tell the officers what he did on the roadside to get the other 3 to cop to it?
He's really screwed. There's no way he's getting out of this.
Again, if what he's saying is true,
alleged.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
He's in trouble.
That's a good point.
You prepare for next time, sir. I'm sorry.
I just thought of something.
You get married tomorrow?
You're going to report right here. And like I said,
You say he's getting married tomorrow?
to the Washington County office since you live in Washington County.
On Monday, sir. I have work
Y'all
today.
closed tomorrow, right? Yeah.
All right, Mr. Gray, could you tell me your age and your highest level of education?
Yes, sir. My age is, I'm 57 years old, sir, and associate's degree.
Did you-
College.
Before you began speaking, did you hear Mr. Hill's announcement about how we're going to resolve your case?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what was stated here in open court?
No, sir.
Anyone twisting your arm, threatening you, or coercing you in any way to do this?
No, sir.
You understand by entering this?
Yeah, I understand by entering this plea that Creed will frame and Mikey will put this on. We're going to watch it here. Yikes. I'm going to be a long day with Creed.
Go 2.5 years, or how many? It's 5 years. 2.5 years with no incident at all. Will I be able to early termination? Do I have to come
You can apply for early termination at the halfway point, and
and I
we'll,
apply with you? Yes, sir.
yes, sir. You can file. You'll file the motion, and we'll
Take a look at it there.
take a look at it, set it for a hearing, and we'll go from there.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back.
Absolutely not, sir.
What about
Howard?
Absolutely not, sir.
Thanks. What do you think
Ron-
about the wedding?
Ron Howard.
What was that about, do you think?
Maybe he's got a girl. I mean, he's starting over. He's clean slate, Creed. He's definitely, man, if none of those things are true, if he really didn't know, I'm talking to myself. Ron Howard, everyone. I loved him on Happy Days, by the way. Loved him. Mikey, the one-man show. My God, it's going to take him all day to get up here. Mile, how are you? Creed, Emily feeling better? No? Okay. Damn it. This guy's
Howard's
taking
on the trial
forever.
calendar for later this month. I've simply run out of time trying to negotiate Mr. Howard's case down. I'll defer to Ms. Smith if we want to leave it on the trial calendar, or in light of where we're at with the other cases, or keep it on there and we'll leave it as a backup in the event that for some reason those other cases don't go. I know it is a 2022 case.
Ms. Smith?
Your Honor, I didn't send subpoenas. Hopefully we could get one out, Your Honor. So maybe we could put it on, are we close to resolution?
I think so.
12-14, Your Honor.
Can we get him
And
stop writing down the end?
Okay, Mr. Howard, we'll see you December
So loud.
14th at 9.
He's playing the bongos down there. He's like, poor Mr. Howard walks all the way down here. It takes him forever to get down here. And they're like, all right, we'll see you back here on blah, 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 blah.
30, sir.
Okay,
Okay.
so 27th is not gonna be.
Yeah, just strike that date. We'll see you back in December.
It sounds like you got a full docket anyway.
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I'll call you.
Harold
It's slow
Lester.
walker. I missed him.
Oh, God, now this guy can't walk either. We're doubling down on people who can barely walk.
Are the wheelchair in next?
Lester, how are you doing?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Lester's in the same posture that Mr. Howard's in. I would
Slouching.
ask for the same date. You okay, that was Smith?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Lester, we'll see you December 14th at 9:30 a.m.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you then.
I want to see those guys race back to the feet.
Whoever races, whoever wins at the end.
Sean Rich,
Good
Sean,
all of
okay.
their stuff dropped.
Tracy Skipper.
Wow. Skipper, Tracy?
Yeah, these are not the normal people we see in, the courts that we frequent. So I
No.
like that. A little different.
Ms. Skipper before you in case 2285, charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon,
Whoa.
and 2296, charged with fleeing or eluding a marked police officer, a third-degree felony. There is
Damn,
no
girl.
agreement.
Okay, so she had a pew-pew. She's a felon already.
Yeah,
And she had a chase.
yeah.
Oh, is there any footage of this? She's look at her. You wouldn't think pew-pewing and running from the law, but
No, decent charges.
yeah, those are heavy.
To resolve this case today, Ms. Skipper is going to, the state had previously withdrawn their plea offer. Ms. Skipper is going to plead no contest to those charges. There is no agreement as to the sentence.
Ooh.
Ms. Skipper is aware that according to her score sheets guidelines, the lowest permissible sentence is 19.1 months in prison. The maximum allowed sentence is 20 years in prison. And she also understands that there is a mandatory minimum sentence of 3 years if the court makes the finding that she was in actual possession of the firearm at the time of the offense as required by Florida law.
Okay, so she's looking at 19 months minimum on one charge, the fleeing one, And the one for the pew pew, she's going at the bare minimum, it'll be 3 years up to 20 years.
She's looking at some time.
So she better hope the judge doesn't find that she had that pew pew on her. Otherwise, she won't be eating Thanksgiving dinner at home.
That's from just from the other day.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Okay, Ms. Skipper, you raise your right hand for me.
He'll ask her, and he'll ask her what grade.
And would you tell me your name, your age, and your highest level of education?
Date of birth 6/7/74, Tracy Skipper, 1 year of college.
Did you hear Mr. Hill's announcement, ma'am,
74,
about how we're going to resolve your case?
49.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what Mr. Hill just stated? Meaning, other than the minimum and the maximum, you don't have any understanding of what the sentence may be? Is that correct?
I know, yeah, I know there's a wide door there.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
No one suggested to you, hey, the court may do this, or you should get that?
No, sir.
And are you, is this a guilty plea or
No
no
contest,
contest? Has anyone threatened you or coerced you in any way?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication, ma'am?
No, sir, just medication.
Okay, what medication are you on?
I'm Boost Bar, but there's other medications that I take that I'm not able to afford right now. But I do have I took my Boost Bar this morning.
Okay, and what is that medication for?
Anxiety.
Does that impair or affect your ability to understand what you're doing this morning?
No, sir.
Okay, you're clear-minded?
It helps me, yes.
Okay, you said it helps you,
Yes,
and it's for anxiety?
yes. Sir.
You understand by not contesting the charges that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury,
Yes, sir.
and you're waiving your right to, go ahead?
I don't know how the open plea works, if I'm able to speak freely.
Oh, yeah, you
That's-
can,
Okay. Just bear with me.
but we're gonna get,
All right, she's about to lay it on us, Creed. We're about to find out why she should not be going to prison.
Good luck talking your way out of that.
The judge seems to like her though. She's got a good disposition so far. We'll see.
get there.
Okay.
Do you understand that you're waiving your right to appeal anything other than an illegal sentence?
Oh, tweaking. No,
Yes.
And
See,
if
I
you're
didn't
not
see
a
your
US
ass
citizen,
bounce.
by entering this plea, it could subject you to deportation? All right, is the state or defense aware of any DNA that could be exculpatory in this case,
No, Your Honor.
or these cases?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the arrest report and the information in both cases, Ms. Skipper, and I'm going to accept your plea as non-intelligent and voluntarily entered into. Do we need to move forward with sentencing today?
We can move forward, Judge. Ms. Skipper was prepared to address the court.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Skipper.
I have my family with me as well. I don't know if you want to speak to them.
I can-
At the time that I caught the charge, I'm not going to debate whether I was under the influence or not. There was some things going on in my life that were kind of surreal, kind of things that happen, but they don't happen to you. And I certainly would say that the drugs led to me trying to fill in a lot of blanks. But I was at the time scared for my life. I never carried a gun before in my life. I called the police. I started calling the police from my home here. Telling them I was scared for my life about a substance that was found in my room on me and my dog, which later was known to be lie. I went through 6 phones at the time. They all started getting malware viruses on them and spyware viruses on them. So I became obsessed with my phone, trying to figure out who was doing this. At the time, I felt like
So are we saying this all could have been avoided with a McAfee antivirus on your phone? Maybe I don't know. That drove you to drugs and everything else, and carrying a pew pew.
That's what I was gonna say. All right, is she gonna say like she was being stalked, or she thought that something?
She said she was in fear for her life because of stuff on her. People kept calling me, asking me about a card I didn't own anymore, and people were calling me constantly saying they want to get
phones
rid
get
of my
viruses?
college debt.
like computers, do they?
Yeah. You can. It's different. But yeah. Remember we almost had that McAfee guy on the show before he died?
Thankfully.
I was being followed. My brother had been busted for fentanyl. So I don't know if that had something to do with me being followed. I called the police from Alabama. once from the motel room, told them that I felt like I had been used as a mule for trafficking drugs. And I felt like there was drugs in my car and I was being followed and I was in fear for my life. They told me that they didn't have a drug dealer on duty and they couldn't take my car apart. I called him again from Alabama. My father spoke with him this time when I called him from the Walmart shopping center. I showed them.
I'm sorry to stop so much, but she called the law and said, "Hey, it's me. I think I'm being used as a drug mule. My car could be full of drugs."
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Baby, we ain't got time for that shit. Ain't nobody here right now knows anything about cars. You got to go down the road a piece." I don't believe that for a second.
No. And having a pew-pew on you is just as bad as if you had some drugs in there that you didn't know about.
You're a felon. You're a convicted felon. You've already had the run-ins with the law. You knew what you could and could not do.
So it doesn't matter if you were running because you were paranoid because you thought that there were drugs. If you got a pew-pew on and you're a felon, that's just as bad.
She thought she was a surprise mule, not the mules that get paid. Unpaid mule. The mule union showed up later though, and were able to help her figure it out.
The lady where you get your gas, I couldn't call 911 from my cell phone, and then I was scared that I was being followed. Police came there, spoke to my father for a while, got off the phone with my father, released me to Dusty Kilpatrick's care to go home to see my psychiatrist.
Good idea.
Most people in my life at that time are going to tell you that I was crazy. I would tell you that in some sense I was in my right mind, that I was very close to losing my mind, and that I was in fear for my life, whether it was real or not. It was real to me. I feel like in a way with the police, me calling the police as many times as I did, I feel like somebody should have helped me along the way, even if I was crazy, maybe it locked me up or, some means to an end besides this. I'm trying to make sure I cover everything here. Recently, when my kids started back to school, I went back to my father's home and saw the conditions of what's going on there. And I feel that it'll be detrimental to my children if I go to prison right now. I have an 11-year-old that's already involved with truancy. I've gotten him in life management. He has tantrums where he will beat his head against the wall or.
Oh my God, that is horrendous. That child does need some help. Big time.
Yeah. That's an issue.
Oh, I didn't know she had kids. I thought she only had a dog. Well, maybe he can get some help while she's gone. Oof. That's terrible. He's hitting his head against the wall.
Gets so emotional he can't talk or calm down. We're waiting for a second appointment there now. My dad is 79 years old. He's due for heart surgery. He would be the one to take care of these children. I don't believe that he's able to at this point. He has custody of two of my sons and my nieces as well, my two nieces. When I moved back in when school started, my niece's mama OD'd on fentanyl in the backyard. My nieces are now left without a mother.
This is one of the most tragic stories we've ever heard, Creed. Did she say her father is 79 years old?
I believe so. And math checks out there.
And he's taking care of all these youngins. No wonder the man needs a damn heart surgery. He's probably just stressed out to the max. Poor guy. We got all these kids. We got a sister ODing in the backyard, ruining 4th of July. Oh my God.
That's
this is a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What's this?
That's the question though, Chris. Do we buy it? It's just this story anywhere near truthful.
If half of it's true, or maybe she just imagined it. Who knows? Her dad might walk up here in a few minutes and say, "Judge, that's true."
Oh, it's true. Yeah, she said. Didn't she say family's there?
Yeah, she's got family there. So I'm guessing we're going to see the old man here in a little bit.
And my children will be left without a mother and a father. I'm making a plea today for a suspended sentence for their sake. I've always taken my charges and I do have a criminal record. The first time in my life I considered telling I'm sober and that I could do this probation. And I would ask that you do it for them. I just feel that it'd be detrimental. When I moved back into my father's home, my nieces had dropped out of school and extreme measures I had to go to. One of them is now graduated. She's 19.
Thank God.
I worried about what would happen to my children with them not going to school now and it being hard for me, especially how hard it would be on my father. Never carried a gun.
Also, Creed, thank you to Kathy. 5 bones in the PP. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Kathy, thank you. Hallelujah.
Oh, okay. We got one kid that graduated at least.
Done.
That's
Before
good.
in my life. I wasn't a thug riding around trying to get a revenge, or I was scared. When I got the fleeing and looting charge, at that point I didn't really know who to trust or not trust. So they followed me to Gulf County line. To the
Lisa,
point they quit following me.
you and me both.
She said
people-
call a charge. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, one of the first things that she said out of her mouth when she started with that, Lisa, you're absolutely correct. I thought this very same thing. I said, if you're using that lingo, you've been around, right?
Uh-huh.
If you refer to it as that, then yeah, this isn't your first rodeo.
Yeah. And it seems like the whole family was wrapped up in drugs, allegedly. You got the brother, she mentioned her brother had been arrested for fentanyl, gone to prison. Got the sister ODing in the backyard. So
Obviously,
now
could have a
her
drug problem.
really big one.
Mhm.
I pulled into Cherry Street, the convenience store there, and I got surrounded and pulled down to the ground. They searched my vehicle. They asked me everything I told them about. I didn't know if it was a cartel. I didn't know. I mean, a lot. If I was to tell you now, you'd say it's crazy. But there's so many little pieces, and I was trying to fill in. I told them everything that I thought may or may not be happening. I told them I took the truck without permission. Timothy Harvey's truck is in the courtroom now. They proceeded to put $20 of gas in this truck, put me back in a truck I told them I had without permission, and send me back into Gulf County to meet an officer that never showed up.
What?
I really thought that somebody was going to help me then, that we're going to have some of my answers as to why I was being followed, or who was following me, or who was doing this to my phones. Or
Are we saying that the people that showed up at the gas station wasn't even the real police? Are we saying that was the cartel? And they put $20. All right, so the police show up at the gas station. She says, hey, I don't have permission for this truck. This is all going on. They want to search her truck and everything. And then they put her back in the truck and say, hey, drive to this other county and officer so-and-so be waiting for you.
Is that well, wait a minute. All right. So she had talked something about calling
The police,
from the Walmart parking lot. Remember?
Yeah.
That she thought that she might have some. All right. So she's either got a lot of the problem, or we got a really bad drug problem. It's one of the two. I mean, that's just craziness. And now thinking, I mean, but the cartel wouldn't want you to only drive.
Would they only put $20 in there? I mean, come on, they got lots of money. They'd filled that thing up. They'd topped her off.
Oh, that's a crazy one.
And go meet officer that's not going to appear. Mystery officer. Yikes.
or the powdery substance that was in my room, that which later was discovered it was lye. I guess I've said I'm pleading for a suspended sentence for the sake of my children and my father. Not so much me, I'm done time. I've done time. I just worry about the effects that's going to have on my kids, my 14-year-old and my 11-year-old. And the 11-year-old is the one that's having a lot of problems right now, and he's the one that's got truancy involved with school. My 14-year-old just recently got put out of the ACE program, which I feel partially responsible for because I'm trying so hard to get them to go to school. I wasn't noticing his grades. Very smart child. I want him to have a chance. I want him to have somebody there to motivate him and encourage him and to make sure that he has clean clothes for school in the morning and hygienes when he needs his hygienes, things that my 79-year-old father might not think about, you know, that he would.
What do you say, your dad, your 79-year-old father stinks? Hygiene has never been a strong point with my father, Your Honor. And well,
just sit around.
you can't get a suspended sentence, right? Am I wrong? I saw some people talking about it. You can't. She's asking for something I don't think is even possible.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible, but I don't know where to go. She seems sweet. I mean, it's not like she's, sitting here all being a gangbanger and
Yeah,
you know what I
acting all
mean?
tough and everything,
Right. I mean, do you feel as if she feels bad about? Here's the thing. I don't think she has any remorse for running from the cops, though.
No,
It doesn't seem like she's sorry about that.
I think she's sorry that she's going to end up in a position that's going to hurt her kids. Like she just said, I don't care about going to jail. I've been to jail. Jail doesn't bother me. But at the end of the day, her poor 79-year-old father, who is also raising her other siblings' children, are now going to have to raise her children as well. She goes to jail. They said the minimum on the one was 3 years. She's gone for 3 years. Pops is 82 when she comes out, if he's still there. And if not, where do all these kids go? They become wards of the state? They need her at home. But she's done effed up. She's really messed up.
49, I believe.
49, yeah.
Math.
Way too old to be doing this stupid shit.
That's
way
for sure. Tiny Piggy, thank you 3 months. Bye-bye.
Tiny.
Could barely want to provide, but he's older and he's fixing to have heart surgery.
At what point during all of this did you begin to care about your children?
I'd say that.
Wow. Wow.
I like this, Judge.
Damn. Ooh. At what? Wow.
You know what the best part was? Is that he let her go. Get it out. Get everything you want to say. And then asked the real question.
Wow. That. Ooh.
Carol,
Ooh,
no
that-
doubt she's paranoid, but is it from the drug problem or is she got a mental issue?
Mm-hmm. Wow. The kids are the losers in this game. Let's all remember
Always.
that.
And no matter what happens, if she goes home today, it's probably going to be just as bad. If she goes to jail, it's probably going to be just as bad. That's what's just terrible about it.
This is no-win situation, but wow, the judge come in swinging.
I would say that when I did a prison sentence, I did a 5-year bid. I had a suspended sentence, and I went in and I ended up doing that 5 years. For 2 years, my dad didn't speak to me. I left behind a 5-week-old. And for 2 years, my dad didn't speak to me, and it's the best thing he ever did. Tough love. It made me value my children. After that sentence, I got out. Within a month, my home was raided. And my brother was taken in for selling methamphetamines. I'd only been out of prison from 5 years, suspended sentence for a month. I kind of fell into place of what was going on in the house and the environment. I wouldn't say that I didn't care about my children at the time, but I'm gonna say I didn't straighten my life out. I didn't get clean.
When were you released?
I've been out a few years on that one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm not saying the drugs came back. I was still involved in my kids' life. I cared, but I was still on drugs. I would say that this time, getting sober this time and almost losing my mind is when I cared. I did 6 months on this charge in the county while I got sober and got on medication to get my mind back right. I realized how much I cared, how much I value their lives and their future, their education, their manners, their values, their morals, things I haven't given them the best shot at, I definitely have led by example what you shouldn't do, more so than what you should do.
You say you're released from prison and when?
On that 5-year prison sentence, how long ago was that?
When were you released?
On this charge, I've been out a year and a half.
No, the prison, the 5-year prison
I'm not too
sentence.
sure my mind with pulling back dates like that.
Okay.
It's been a few years.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a 5-year. And by the way, I thank you for the offer. It was no disrespect by not taking that. I do appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Judge, there was looks like a 2-year sentence, June 06 to June of 08. 3-year sentence from June of 2013 to January 2016. And then the 5-year sentence was from March of 2019 until the release date I show judge is August 14th of 2019.
Anything else?
By the way, that's a pattern. If you didn't see, of prison sentences for this lady, she doesn't learn lessons. I hate to say it. I don't want to put her down, but you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Listen, not to get too personal, but I mean, you think about situations where if you're trying to get a new start, you're trying to be clean, and you're in and around that environment.
Right back into the
Obviously.
life. Yeah. Right. Back into it.
I don't care if you kind of, I don't think it's possible that you can come in back to an environment like that and stay clean. And on top of that, if you are sober and your mind's working good and if things are starting to improve, you're keeping your kids around all of that environment too. I have no remorse for that either. So again, she seems nice to an extent. I mean, I don't know if she's, this is a tough one, man.
It's tough.
Ms. Skipper?
I can be gone, but I can do this. I can do this. For the first time in my life, I could sit here without a fear or a thought of not doing probation or drug offender probation or house arrest. Or I value my sobriety. I value my state of mind. Feeling's hard for me, but I really value my children who are here.
Oh no, our children.
You want me to
are
hear from
there?
anyone else, ma'am? Not your children.
Would you care to hear from anyone else?
I'll listen to whatever you want me to consider, Ms. Skipper.
Do y'all want to speak?
Not your children.
I know, not my dad's back there. Do you want to speak, Dad?
Oh God.
My
Why
oldest
did we
son is
sit?
here, Jameis. He's of age. I don't know if you.
Why did we sit him so far in the back? He's almost 80 years old. He seems pretty spry.
Good
for him.
afternoon at this time. How you doing, sir?
Okay.
You raise your right hand for me.
I do.
Sir, could you tell me your name?
James Larry Skipper.
All right, Mr. Skipper, and what do you want me to consider, sir?
My daughter, she's been a wonderful mother. She's critical to their growth. Critical. I'm doing the best job I can, but I fall short because of my age, I guess. I'm just looking for leniency for her so she could raise her kids like she wants to. She deserves another chance. She really does. I guess that's all.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Damn, man.
That was one of the saddest things I think we've ever watched here on We Got a Chase, to be honest with you.
You can hear the pain in his voice.
That ain't acting.
No, man.
That
That's-
is
he's been through some shit.
I don't like do you think he believes that? Because he doesn't seem from what we have seen here and what we're hearing doesn't sound that way, but
He's a dad trying to keep his daughter out of prison. And he knows he needs help with these kids. He can't keep taking care of all of them, man. At least 4 we heard of. This guy should be out playing bingo and shuffleboard with the ladies of Florida. Instead, he's sitting there, he's trying to raise teenagers.
I mean, 80 years old, these kids running around. I'm half his age and I would be falling short. I mean,
they've got him in a bad spot, man.
As a judge, I don't think I'd want to really even hear from family, to be honest with you, because that one, regardless, even if I thought she was the biggest POS, I'd almost want to be a little bit more lenient for that man down there, if nothing else.
Yeah, we're not just punishing her, man. We're punishing this dude too.
I can't believe the kids are there too.
It's no win. God, it's no win.
No matter what. I mean, and I hate to say this, just again, just from what we've seen, it's almost best if those kids were taken off maybe somewhere else.
And that's a horrible thing to say. But
It is, but I mean, all of it sounds. I don't know. I don't know.
it's a bad situation.
That was really sad. I hope for the best for him. I'll say that.
No doubt, man.
Skipper.
Yes.
Jeez.
And you said you had a child that was of age, and I said I didn't want to hear from the children of 14 and 11-year-old.
Davis?
Oh my gosh, we're gonna hear from one of her children, Creed.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, would you tell me your name?
James Bailey.
All right, Mr. Bailey, what do you want me to consider, sir?
So obviously she did some wrong, but these past few months that she has been back with us, consistently staying with us, she's been a very positive influence on the kids' outlook in their general life. Like when it comes to getting to school on time, if it's getting breakfast in their bellies, dinner on the table at night, she's been pivotal in all of that. And I think that without her, these kids might even end up facing foster care. If it's up to him, because he can't take care of them.
Yes, sir.
And I know I can't. I'm not going to say I can.
Yes, sir.
So that's just, if you take anything into consideration, consider that it's very important to their future that they have someone there for them.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty much all I can bring to the table. That she is a very loving and caring person. As you can tell, she gets emotionally invested in everything. And that it's just pivotal. Yeah.
All right, Ms. Smith, anything from the state?
Good for her if that's true.
Yeah.
If she really is on the proper side of the sober.
2 months out of the entire time these poor kids have been alive, it seems.
Listen, I'm sure that it's not easy in a situation like that to get the kids to school on time every single day and have some things that I guess we take for granted a lot, especially as a child. But to be able to make it to school on time and have dinner on the table and stuff like that is a good thing. So give her credit.
You gotta remember these kids, all of them, all three of them, have had huge stretches where their mother was gone.
Yeah.
So that can cause a lot of resentment and problems too.
Fred, you're right. In the grand scheme of things, 2 months ain't shit.
2 months out of 49 years, yeah.
Yeah. But I still
I don't know what this judge can do.
I
really
don't know
don't.
what the judge can do. I don't even know where I stand.
And remember, she turned down a plea deal too.
Yeah. I would love to know the ins and outs of that.
Probably minimum.
I mean, that's
probably
ballsy.
Yeah, it's probably got the minimums they offered to her, because unless they drop that pew charge, unless the judge deems that she didn't have it, I don't see any other.
Chris, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on if she's on probation or anything else. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you think again. Okay, well, is this forced sobriety? And when this all goes away, then what? Say. Unfortunately, that's a sad situation. We'll see. I mean, maybe we'll have a better turnout than we think, but I think we're all going to be sitting here with tears in our eyes.
According to the information, has a charge with actual possession? Okay. And Ms. Skipper, there are certain, sometimes I have discretion, sometimes I don't. And when it comes to sentencing, and one of the areas I do not have discretion is when the legislature has told me to impose a minimum sentence, a mandatory minimum sentence. I don't have the authority to disregard the legislature. I can't do that.
She's screwed.
We can't impose a suspended sentence.
The legislature has told me for your felon in possession of a firearm, and if it's actual possession, that I have to impose a certain sentence.
I thought that I'd done some case studies where I noticed that they had not imposed a sentence where the individual had been out on bond for a certain amount of time, been a productive citizen and working, so they didn't impose the.
That's true. That's true, but not when it comes to a mandatory minimum sentence.
Remember, there's 2 charges. The fleeing and eluding is a mandatory 19 months, I believe it was.
Right.
And the pew pew was like 3 years
Yeah.
mandatory.
I don't know a lot about this judge, but just from that statement that he just had and his demeanor, it almost sounds like if he could, he would have finagled some sort of way to try and help a little bit.
But his hands are tied. I mean,
said
he's not here to
legislate.
he's not here to make the laws. He's
Put it
here to
in.
enforce the laws that are on the books. And now I think now it comes down to, is he going to give her, more than the minimum?
Kitch is probably a very valid point of this, and he just alluded to that, is that, yeah, she had copped to it, basically, that she had it. She admitted to it. And I think that adds some there, so there's no gray area.
Yeah, you can't wiggle off of that one.
And I hate to hear that. I understand she probably believes that because, again, it's the world of the internet. And
that's why she turned down that plea deal, I'm sure, because the plea deal was those minimums.
Yeah. So this lawyer that's with her, do you think that she hired him, or is he more?
No, he's been up here with just about everybody.
I thought
think
so. So he's just he's not a hired hand. So he's
a public defender. Yeah.
So you can only get so far. So she took it in her own hands, which I also feel kind of bad about that to an extent, when people are reading something and you think
holding on to that little glimmer of hope that just isn't there.
Man.
All right, let's see what he gives her.
There's a mandatory minimum sentence. It means exactly what it says. You must serve a minimum sentence, and then it's mandatory. It's not discretionary. I don't have authority to do something different. So in case number 22, CF85 and 22 CF96, you'll be adjudicated guilty. In the 22 CF85, that's stolen in actual possession of a firearm, ma'am, you'll be sentenced to the mandatory minimum of 36 months in the Florida Department of Corrections. That is a mandatory minimum. And the fleeing or attempting to elude, 22 CF96, you'll be sentenced to 19.1 months in prison.
Concurrent?
Concurrent, Your Honor.
And they will run concurrent with one another. And Ms. Tanya, you have a call sheet.
3 years, bud.
Yeah.
She ain't getting out.
Damn.
3 years. Ooh, man.
They're gonna lock her up. Take her away now.
Oh, right in front of her kids. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know how they handle that one.
Even though the guns weren't mine, they were Timothy Harvey's, and it was his truck. Is there a way
Throw him under the
to
bus.
have that not be actual constructual possession?
I don't have any control over charging. That's up to the state. The state has charged you with actual possession. If you want to withdraw your plea, you can do that, but I can't control.
Why? The title once said one thing, in the language of the body of the information, it said actual or constructive. If I recall correctly, I did advise her that the court would have to make the finding that she was in actual possession before the 3-year min-man applied. And if I misread the information, I apologize.
Yeah, I read that she's previously been convicted of a felony in this case, and then after being convicted, she unlawfully owned or have care, custody, actual possession, or control of a firearm. I'll look at the affidavit.
Grasping at straws.
But you're right. I have to. That's what the information charges, and I believe the law is I need to make a specific finding. But I'll.
Possession for the notice
Yes, sir.
that it was
Okay.
that.
Poor dad back there. He's like, oh my God.
I can't imagine.
What am I going to do?
I can't imagine.
You could be found at trial. At trial, you could be found in either. At trial, you could be found in possession of the firearm. The jury would have to determine if it's actual or constructive. And
She's talking about going to trial
go to
instead of taking
the
her plea
3-year
back?
minimum still applies if the jury makes the finding. The maximum penalty is 15 years if you go to trial. So,
And to the extent that, do you still want to go forward with your plea, ma'am?
I think about it and come back on the next.
No.
No,
If you want to withdraw it, I'll let you withdraw it now.
but withdrawal, what does it exactly, does that mean withdrawal?
If you want to withdraw your no
I don't want
contest,
to inconvenience the courts. I
you're
know
not
that.
inconveniencing me, ma'am. This is your life.
I know.
This is
So
what I have
if
to
I
do.
withdraw it, I come back in, I can still open plea. I mean, that's really my only options at a trial at this
Or
point,
go,
correct?
or go to trial.
Can I take another week, come back in a week?
I won't be here in
Yeah.
another week. I don't have
Okay.
court. I think you're set for trial. I mean, I've already accepted your plea. I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I'm deciding about the constructive possession or not constructive possession, if I should go with it, just determine whether I was in constructive possession or not, if I should go to trial.
but like I told you when I met with you, when it comes to constructive
Yeah.
possession, the fact that you were in the vehicle, the guns were in the vehicle, you were the only one in the vehicle.
Yeah.
The evidence is there the evidence is there.
She's trying to wiggle out and get another week. Really?
So I'm trying to figure that out. Is it trying to buy another week before she goes in for the inevitable, or like Eric is saying, does she feel as if maybe with dad and maybe during that setting you're going to actually be able to hear from all the kids at that point? Does she feel as if she has a little bit? Again, you've got this mandatory.
And taking it to trial to be able to, like he just said, you were in the truck. The pew-pews were in the truck. You were the only person in the truck. You have already admitted that you had them pew-pews with you and you were scared for your life. Oh, trying to
Cynthia,
rewrite history.
Before you jump down anybody's throat, just a heads up, there's a lot of recovered
tons.
Eric's here in the chat. So just FYI, there's a lot of
Recovery is hard. You're 100%. But at the same time, this lady is she's going to have to serve her time. She did the crime. She's got to serve the time.
Yeah,
and maybe this time around it'll stick. Who knows?
I'm a little surprised maybe that the judge is even entertaining this after we basically were done. He just said everything. I mean,
yeah. You can't. We'll see. See what happens.
For actual possession. You were in the vehicle. You're alone in the vehicle. The guns are right beside you. So there is evidence in the case for a jury to make that finding if they choose to. They could choose not to, but if they make that finding, then the judge is still going to be in the same place he's at right now.
You might get
The only
more
thing that's
time.
happening today is instead of the jury making the finding of actual possession, the judge is finding that you were in actual possession.
And the state's charged with actual possession of a firearm. I read the complaint affidavit. They were right there on the passenger side seat. And actual possession doesn't mean it's actually on your person. They can be within ready reach. So I'm going to find that you're in actual possession of a firearm, but you'll be okay. In addition to the mandatory cost, ma'am, you have an additional $300 fine, a $20 fine, a $1 fine, $2 fine, and $25 fine, for a total of $1,008.
You're
in
fine.
both cases, never be reduced to a civil judgment. And you got 30 days from today to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court. And if you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you.
Judge, I'll give Ms. Knox about her jail credit because she did, when a prior attorney had the case, she did spend some time in jail. I can't remember.
6 months.
She's saying 6 months. We'll verify that exact day count. I'll give it Ms. Knox. And you can apply it to the judgment or the DOC packet.
Okay.
Minimum mandatory.
Yes. Yeah, the minimum mandatory. I believe I announced it, but it's 36 months on the felon in possession of a firearm. That's a mandatory minimum sentence, ma'am.
As far as like me trying to get help and calling the police as many times as I did. And as far as like, there was 3 home health checks done. Other people called the police and had them come to my home and check on me. doesn't that show some grounds for me not being in my right mind? I mean, seems like the officer that arrested me that afternoon is the same officer that was at my house that morning that somebody called to do a home wellness check. And that was happened 3 times in 1 week, where other people were calling concerned. And I had called the law concerned as well too. It just seems like somewhere along the way, like something could have prevented this from happening when the police didn't help, and you know, I was scared.
I think the person that could have prevented it from happening, Ms. Skipper, is you. There are rules, and when you violate the rules, there's consequences.
Judge, I can also put on the record that when I did receive the case, at the time I received the case, prior counsel had filed a notice of intent to rely on insanity without an evaluation. That had been put in place, and then the attorney withdrew. I got the case. It was way past, at the time I got it, it was way past the date of offense. I did some checking into some records I was able to get from the jail. I was not able to find any records that would justify the claim, and also consulted with Ms. Skipper and advised her that trying to do an evaluation that many months post incident would almost, there was no way you could go back that many months later and say what somebody's mental state was that many months back. So, I found no reasonable grounds to move forward with the insanity claim based on the time I got the case and my review of the facts and the evidence in there.
Yes, sir. Well, Ms. Skipper, best of luck to you, man. I'm glad that you're on the right path. We'll take care of your credit. And when you get out, I hope you stay on that path, man.
Am I able to hug my family or
That's up to the bailiff.
no? Okay.
Oh, and there she goes.
Not right now.
Not right now. I want you to come back here and let me see what you got in your pockets.
Well, that was one of the most serious and sad ones that we've seen on this show since the beginning. I still don't. I'm real glad I'm not a judge on that one. I think he handled it.
I would
I
lose
think he handled
sleep.
it great.
I would lose so much sleep.
Yeah.
We got one guy left. Let's go ahead and finish it on out.
All right.
And, let him go ahead and be seen.
Oh.
Mayor McFarlane.
Mayor McFarlane? Is that what he said?
Is this Seth MacFarlane?
Oh, actually got 2 more people. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
How are you doing, man?
Fine, thank you.
Ms. McFarlane, let me see.
Please don't be anywhere near like the last one.
Yes, please, nothing sad.
Prostitution or theft or something, please.
Unlicensed
We're
dog.
here on a motion to
Need to
request
laugh.
to terminate your probation.
Just the CC part of it.
Okay.
Oh, terminating her probation. Yeah, there they go, all sad and upset.
All right. So she violated probation. This
Ms.
lady?
McFarlane, looks like a few days ago, yeah, there's a technical violation.
Yes, sir, that's the first one I've had in 7 months.
Yeah.
All my home visits, all my urines, everything, all my classes are done, all my money's paid, everything is done. And I'm just asking for the remainder of the CC to be taken back. Because I've had to move several times in the last month. And it's been very inconvenient, but I have kept up with everything. And Ms. Woodard was my probation officer at the beginning, and then I lost her, and then I had Mr. Leedon, and then I lost him, and now I have Mr. Lister. And there was a miscommunication between us, me and Mr. Lister, who was my probation officer now, because I hadn't been appointed one. And I called Ms. Woodard and Mr. Leto's phone and left them messages, and I didn't call the right phone.
Yes, ma'am. It looks like you filed this motion on October 2nd, and then on the 30th, you were not at home, so they sent me a technical violation letter, and I reluctantly signed and approved that technical violation letter. Usually when I don't have a policy, but
Yes, sir.
you violate community control, that's usually the last step before you're remanded to the Department of Corrections. But I'm gonna have to deny your request.
Okay, that's
Based on
fine.
the technical
I have 3
violation.
months left, so
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, best of luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, she tried.
Mr. Hill, do we have anyone else on the docket? Okay, Mr. Petty.
Richard Petty,
Mr. Petty.
STP 43.
Okay.
What's the king in?
He's moving roughly. The
Oh,
old
God, he's looking
prospector's
bad.
here.
That's your court dates mixed up.
He's in here for claim jumping, Creed, obviously.
Obviously.
An old prospector like him, moving so spryly.
Or something. Was he supposed to be here yesterday? No, Tuesday?
Oh shit, you're a day late, bud.
There's no excuse.
Come on a wrong day.
All right, Mr. Petty, it looks like we had your court date set for the 7th. You didn't show up.
There's no excuse, Your Honor, for that. I offer no
Throw the book at me.
excuse. I thought it was today.
Okay.
Is he putting on a show with all this
It
movement?
looks like the return notice that you signed says November 7th.
Oh, I'm sure it does, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm not off any excuse.
What's going on with you?
Oh, my side.
I'm told my sciatic nerve. I pinched it earlier last week, and it's just hard to stand.
Okay.
Please don't throw me in jail. Please don't throw me in jail. You see my sciatic? Please don't throw me in jail.
Let's hope he doesn't have IBS.
I hope not. Don't put me in jail.
You said there's no excuse for you not being here. So there's a warrant for your arrest. We'll see you on December 14th at 1:30.
That didn't go the way you wanted to either.
No. Boy, he was moving real fast after that. You see how fast he exited?
The exit was way, way greater than the entrance. Wow, what a crazy day of court. Florida Friday is always a lot of fun. And today was just a little different. We went
I liked
deep. We showed another softer side of ourselves.
Except for that very serious one.
Soft and tender Creed and Mikey.
They all can't be funny, right?
No, they can't.
They all can't be fun and fun.
No, they cannot.
It's a crazy one. Well, thank you, guys. We'll see you back here for Florida Friday, and We Got a Chase, and our members only on the main channel at 5:30. The Friday Express. It's Friday Express. Mayor, thank you. Tammy, Wonderland Triple D, and Kathy with the pay. And let's not forget about LaShawn.
Oh, look at this.
5 hallelujahs, 5 gifted memberships for We Got a Case channel. Thank you.
And not only did you get 5 gifts, you also are our top commenter on all the videos. So we
Love
really
that.
appreciate that.
Well, thank you for that. That actually helps us out
A lot.
Past 15 months of member.
The past 15 months. Remember, see, look at that. If you're new here, do us a favor, like the video. If you want to go back and watch some of our old videos, that helps a
feel free.
lot. That means a lot to us. Learn the lore, learn the room. You'll really enjoy it, I promise. Great community we have over here. You guys do us a huge favor. Come back, like Creed said, 4 or 5 Eastern. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys stay safe. You guys stay hard. You guys stay tuned because the best, oh, baby, it's yet to come.